Alright, so I'll just give you a rundown on today's training program, or today's session that I did. So this morning it was an interval session, so it started off with sort of a warm-up where I went through a bit of running drills, progressive warm-up. I actually rode down to the park to help try and warm myself up a little bit more this morning, and then went into 3 by 20 second of anaerobic sprints, so it's 20 seconds as far as I can get, and then a 2-minute rest between those, and then it's a minute rest, and then it's 1 minute into a 20, 40, 60 shuttle, trying to get that done in less than a minute, and then it's 2 minutes rest from there before I go into the next block. So the next set from there was 12 by 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off, and I cover around about 50 metres, depending on how I feel. If I have to drop it down a little bit, then so be it. Remembering that today, or this week, the focus isn't on aerobic capacity or developing the aerobic system, it's just more maintenance and a little bit more of a conservative approach to it. So did 12 sets of those, and then again another minute rest, and then another 1 minute shuttle, making sure I can get that distance in less than a minute, and then another 2 minutes rest from there, and then into 5 by 60 seconds, 30 seconds rest. So it's kind of around about a pretty solid pace for a minute, 30 seconds rest, and then back. And this morning there was a bit of a headwind, so kind of played around with my distances a little bit, but again, it's not so much the distance, it's more the work or the power output that I'm after. And then from there it's another minute rest, and then another minute worth of shuttles. From there it's another 2 minutes, and then the last block is just 12 lots of sort of 60 metres out, and then an easy jog back. So the 60 metres is just a nice solid speed, or sort of a tempo speed, and then it's jog back, and then a little bit of a cool down, and then cycling home, stretch, and off I go. And then I give it about 5 to 6 hours at least before I do my PM session. And then this afternoon session is more resistance training, so this is where the focus is a little bit more. So I'll go into a little bit of movement preparation stuff, and then I'll do a few specific movements and some bodyweight movements, and then some sort of prehab type stuff, or sort of some building some capacities that I didn't really have, or fixing up some movement limitations I've sort of been carrying. And then it's into band squat, so again that's nice and easy, a little bit sort of more dynamic, get me going. And then it's into press, so I'd be sort of working from 10 down to 6s depending how I feel, and then depending on how I feel there as to whether I do another set, or whether I just leave it, or whether I just keep those as 8s. I'll superset that with Bulgarians. Again, that's nice and light. It's more looking at single leg stability and keeping really good dynamics and movement stabilization with that exercise. The next one from there is going to be a kettlebell bench press one arm. Okay, so that's sort of making sure I can stabilize as well on the bench, and that'll be supersetted with a pistol or slant board, so 4 by 8 for those, and then a farmer's carry, so depending on how I feel as to the weight on that. Okay, but that'll be nice and heavy. And then I'll finish off, depending how I feel, what I put into there, but it'll be some sort of push, probably something around building some actual stability into my shoulder and sort of rehabbing it more so than building the strength. And then there'll be some eccentric calf work, and then I'll finish off with some Russian twists, and then into my cool down. So this will kind of take me about 30 to 45 minutes. Hopefully it doesn't take too much longer, because I've got veggies in the oven cooking for dinner, so I've got to get into this so I can get other things sorted. And yeah, if you've got any questions, fire away.